Section 01 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Ron Mesa, Santa Cruz, California, www.universityofyourself.com. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 01. To Walt Whitman. I loaf and invite my soul, and what do I feel? An influx of life from the great central power that generates beauty from seedling to flower. I loaf and invite my soul, and what do I hear? Original harmonies piercing the din of measureless tragedy, sorrow, and sin. I loaf and invite my soul, and what do I see? The temple of God in the perfected man, revealing the wisdom and end of earth's plan. End of section 01. Recording by Ron Mesa, Santa Cruz, California, www.universityofyourself.com.
Section 2 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 2. To Summer Hours. Day. Trip lightly, joyous hours, while day her heart reveals. Such wealth from secret bowers King Time himself ne'er steals. O joy King Time ne'er steals. Night. Breathe gently, tireless hours, while night in beauty sleeps. Hold back e'en softest showers, enough that mortal weeps. Ah me, that my heart weeps. End of section 2. To Summer Hours.
Section 3 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Ali Kazarani. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 3. A True Vacation. In a Hammock. Cradled thus and wind caressed, under the trees, oh what ease! Nature full of joyous greeting, dancing, singing, not secreting, ever glorious thoughts repeating. Pause, O time, I'm satisfied, now all life is glorified. Porter Manse, Wenham, Massachusetts. End of section 3.
Section 4 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 4. A question. Is life a farce? Tell me, O breeze, bearing the perfume of flowers and trees, while gaily decked birds pour forth their gladness in songs beyond words, and cloudlets coquette in the fresh summer air, rejoicing in everything being so fair. Is life a farce? How can it be, child, when nature at heart is but the great spirit of love and of art, eternally saying, I must God impart? Is life a farce? Tell me, O soul, struggling to act out humanity's whole, midst error and wrong, and failure in sight of true victory's song, with wisdom and virtue at times lost to view, and love for the many lost in love for the few. Is life a farce? How can it be, child, when humanity's heart is but the great spirit of love and of art, eternally crying, I must God impart? End of section 4. A question.
Section number 5 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 5. To a Butterfly. O butterfly, now prancing through the air, so glad to share the freedom of new living, come, tell me my heart's seeking. Shall I too know, after earth's throe, full freedom of my being? Shall I, as you, through law as true, know life of fuller meaning? O happy creature, dancing, is time too short, with pleasure fraught, for you to heed my seeking? Ah, well, you've left me thinking, if here on earth a second birth can so transform a being, why may not I, in worlds on high, be changed beyond earth's dreaming? End of section 5. Recording by Ron Mesa, Santa Cruz, California, www.universityofyourself.com.
Section 6 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 6. In a Hammock. The rustling leaves above me, the breezes sighing round me, a network glimpse of bluest sky to meet the upturned seeing eye, the greenest lawn beneath me, loved flowers and birds to greet me, a well-kept house of ancient days to tell of human nature's ways. Oh, happy, happy hour! Whence comes all this to bless me? The soft wind to caress me, the life which does my strength renew for purer visions of the true? Alas, no one can tell me. But hush, let nature lead me. Let even wisest questions cease, while I breathe in such life and peace, this happy, happy hour. End of 6. Recording by Shakira Searle.
Section 7 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Oh, rare, sweet summer day. The day is placid in its going, to a lingering motion bound, like a river in its flowing. Can there be a softer sound? Wordsworth. O rare, sweet summer day, couldst thou not longer stay? The soothing, whispering wind's caress was bliss to weary brain. The songs of birds had power to bless, as in fair childhood's reign. The tinted clouds were free from showers, the sky was wondrous clear, the precious incense of rare flowers made sweet the atmosphere. The shimmering haze of midday hour was balm to restlessness, while thought of silent, hidden power was strength for helplessness. O rare, sweet summer day, couldst thou not longer stay? End of O Rare, Sweet Summer Day.
Section 8 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 8. An Old Man's Reverie. Blow breezes, fresh breezes, on love's swiftest wing, and bear her the message my heart dares to sing. Pause not on the highways where gathers earth's dust, nor in the fair heavens, though cloudlets say must, but blow through the valleys where flowers await to give of their essence ere yielding to fate. Or blow on the hilltops where atmospheres lie, imbued with the health which no money can buy. But fail not, O breezes, on love's swiftest wing, to bear her the message my heart dares to sing. The breezes thus laden sped on in their flight, as cradled in hammock I sang in delight. On that blessed summer day in the years long ago, when life was all sunshine and youth all aglow. The sweets of the valleys, the breath of the hills, were gathered, the best that our loved earth distills, as, obedient still to my wish, on they flew, to the home of my darling they now so well knew. Alas for the breezes, alas for my heart, alas for my message so full of love's art! If only the breezes had followed their will, and loitered among the pure cloudlets so still, they'd have met a fair soul from the earth just set free, in search of their help for its message to me. The message my darling, with last fleeting breath, in vain tried to utter, or taken by death. The breezes, fresh breezes, have blown on since then, with messages laden again and again. As for me, I send none. I wait only their will to bring me that message my lone heart to fill. They'll find it some day in a light zephyr chase, for nothing is lost in pure love's boundless space. End of Section 8. Section 9 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 9. On Jefferson Hill, before the presidential range. The sovereign mountains bask in sunset rays, the valleys rest in peace, the lingering clouds melt into twilight haze, the birds their warbling cease. The villager's hour of welcome sleep is near, the cattle wander home, while wrapped in summer-scented atmosphere, calm evening comes to roam with gentle pace through starlit space, till moon-kissed night holds all in her embrace, and morning waits to show her dawn-flushed face. End of Section 9.
Section 10 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. On Sugar Hill. The lovely valleys nestling in the arms of glorious mountain peaks. The purple tint of sunset hour charms the evening hour bespeaks. The monarch peak kissed by the rising sun, while clouds keep guard below. Grand, restful views, with foliage autumn wan, and northern lights' rare glow. We'll e'er recall, in memory's hall, the happy days when on fair Lookout's height sweet friendship cast her hues of golden light. End of On Sugar Hill.
Section 11 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Claudia Salto. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 11. At Fairfield, Wenham, June 1890. Buttercups and daisies, clover red and white, ferns and crown-topped grasses waving with delight. Dainty locust blossoms, all that glad June yields, welcome me with gladness to dearly loved Fairfields. But where's my happy collie dog, my Rosa? The orioles sing greeting, the butterflies come near, the hens cease not their cackling, the horses neigh, I'm here! The cows nod, I have missed you. The pig's eyes even shine, and from the red house hearthstone comes pet cat Valentine. But where's my happy collie dog, my Rosa? I miss her joyful greeting, her handsome, high-bred face, her vigorous, playful action in many a fair field chase. Not even lively Sancho can fill for me her place. O Rosa, happy Rosa, gone where the good dogs go, dost find such fields as Fairfields more love than we could show? And off at Fairfields, Wenham.
Section 12 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 12. Blossom Time. Blossoms floating through the air, bearing perfumes rich and rare, free from trouble, toil, and care. Would I were a blossom. Robins singing in the trees, feeling every velvet breeze, free from knowledge that bereaves. Would I were a robin. Violets peaceful in the vale, telling each its happy tale, free from worldly noise and sale. Would I were a violet. Blessed day of needed wealth, full of nature's perfect health, fill me with thy power. Then like blossoms I shall be, wafting only purity, or like robins singing free midst the deepening mystery, or like violets caring not only to reflect God's thought. End of section 12.
Section 13 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Adam Vanek, Columbus, Wisconsin, www.bionic-gaming.com. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 13. The Primrose. Who tells you, sweet primrose, 'tis time to wake up after dreaming all day? Who changes so quickly your somber green dress to the yellow one gay, and makes you the pet of the twilight's caress and of poet's sweet lay? Who does, primrose, pray? The primrose secure on his emerald throne looked up quickly to say, a dear lovely fairy glides down from his throne in the sun's golden ray, and with a sweet kiss opens wide all our eyes, saying, now is your day. And lo! when he's gone, we are filled with surprise at our wondrous array, so fresh and so gay. Do tell us the name of this fairy, I pray, who gives of his beauty and then hies away, without thanks, without pay, does he linger your way? End of section 13.
Section 14 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 14. Joy, all joy. Lying on the new-mown hay, in a sightly field, on a summer day, with no care to weigh, or a bitter thought to stay all that sense might yield, what a joy to have alway! Sky as blue can be, perfect green all round, birdlings on the wing, ere they pause to sing, on the top of bush or tree, or on sweet hay-mound, restful joy in everything. Butterflies just come to light, proud of freedom's hour. Cows in pastures near, wondering why I'm here. Chipmunks now and then in sight, bees in clover flower, added joy when these appear. Happy children far and near, climbing loads of hay, running here and there, farmers' work to share, skipping, shouting loud and clear, full of daring play. Children's joy, joy everywhere. End of section 14.
Section 15 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Adam Bannock, Columbus, Wisconsin, www.bionic-gaming.com. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 15. Among the Pines. Far up in air the pines are murmuring love songs sweet and low, with a rhythmic flow, worthy of the glad sun's glow. The airy clouds are o'er them bending, captured by the sound of such pleasure found in a playful daily round. The birds pause in their flight to listen, wondering all the while how the trees can smile, rooted so to earthly guile. The hush of summer noon enwraps them, perfumed from below by the flowers that show they too murmuring love songs know. All nature finds a joy in loving. Oh, that I could hear love songs once so dear, death has hushed forever here. End of section 15.
Section 16 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Conscious or unconscious. The earthquake's shock, the thunder's roar, the lightning's vivid chain, the ocean's strength, the deluge's pour, the wildest hurricane, are moods that nature loves to show to man who boasts his birth from conscious force she could not know, because denied sole worth. But is it true she does not share a knowledge in God's plan? Must not she His own secret bear, to so touch soul of man? Those who deny this see not clear into the heart of things, for how could otherwise God here reveal His wonderings? End of Conscious or Unconscious. Recording by Jule Niedermeyer.
Section 17 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 17. Love's How and Why. How do I love thee? Oh, who knows how the blush of the rose can its secret disclose? Oh, who knows? Why do I love thee? Ah, who cares sound a passion he shares with the angels? Who dares? Yes, who dares? End of Section 17. Love's How and Why.
Section 18 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 18. Love's Guerdon. Thine eyes are stars to hold me to love's pure rapturous height. Thy thoughts are pearls to lead me to truth beyond earth's sight. Thy love is life to keep me forever in God's light. End of section 18.
Section 19 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Claudia Salto. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. A Birthday Greeting. Thy birthday, dear? Oh, would I had the poet's art, by which I could my wish impart for thy new year. But e'en a poet's pen of gold would fail my wish to thee unfold in earthly sphere. Thy birthday, dear? Oh, would I had the painter's skill, prophetic visions to fulfill for thy new year. But e'en a painter's rarest brush would but my holy visions crush, or fail to cheer. Thy birthday, dear? Oh, would I had sweet music's aid to vitalize the prayers I've made for thy new year. Alas, not even music's best could put in form my soul's behest for thee, my dear. That only will expression find in purest depth of thine own mind this coming year, as guided by the inner light there'll come to thee the new-born sight of ravished seer. But in this sight thou mayst so feel eternal beauty o'er thee steal, God's gift, my dear, that thou canst find the blessed art by which to make e'en depth of heart in form appear. Yet it may be a heaven's birthday will have to dawn for us to say our best things, dear. For, as thou know'st, truth's deepest well must e'er reflect its depth to tell heaven's atmosphere. End of A Birthday Greeting. Section 20 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Claudia Salto. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 3 kisses. The kiss still burns upon my brow, that kiss of long ago, when in the flush of love's first hour he said he loved me so. Another burns yet deeper still, the kiss of wedded bliss, when soul met soul in rapture sweet. Oh, pure love's burning kiss! The third was laid away with him, a kiss for heaven's day. O heart, abide God's way. When in the life beyond earth's change, beyond these mysteries sad and strange, new life will spring from out the old, new thoughts will larger truth unfold, and love have endless sway. End of 3 Kisses. Section 21 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Claudia Salto. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 21. If I were only sure. If I were only sure he loves me still, as in the realms of beauteous space, alas, so far from my embrace, he bides God's will, I could be more content to bear the bitter anguish and despair which now me fill. If I were only sure he waits for me, to join him in the heavenly realm, oh, how the thought does overwhelm! When body free, I could the better bear my fate, as day by day I learn to wait in silent agony. O Father, in my doubt one thing is sure, that thou, all love, could ne'er destroy, death only is in earth's alloy, such love so pure, as that which blessed our union here, the love which knew no change nor fear, such must endure. End of If I Were Only Sure.
Section 22 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 22. Absence. The days are happy here, dear, but happier would they be, couldst thou be near to bless me with love's sweet ministry. Then all this beauty round me would on my memory lie, as prayers of sainted mother or childhood's lullaby. Hotel Lookoff, Sugar Hill, New Hampshire. End of section 22. Absence.
Section 23 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 23. A Love Song. Oh, ecstasy rare comes down to share the heart that with human love trembles, while all on the earth is crowned with new birth, and everything heaven resembles. But grief and despair have latent their share in hearts that with human love tremble, since fires of love enkindled above in frail earthen vessels assemble. Still, ecstasy rare comes down to share the heart that with human love trembles, while all on the earth is crowned with new birth, and everything heaven resembles. End of section 23. Section 24 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 24. In her garden. She picks me June roses. Were ever such roses? Their fragrance would honor the heavenly halls. She finds me pet pansies, such wondrous-eyed pansies, and lovely nasturtiums that run on the walls. Sweet peas she's now bringing, while all the time singing, and I ask of the flowers to tell what befalls. End of section 24. Section 25 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 25. Love's Wish. Would I were beautiful! Then you at beauty's shrine might freely dine, a welcome guest for joy's bequest. But, dear, if this were so, if I were beauty's child, all undefiled, to make you blest in beauty's quest, you might forget to see the soul's pure hidden shrine, wherein e'er shine the things that test love's true behest. Would I were beautiful, that you might better see the soul in me. That wish is best, is't not, dearest? End of section 25. Section 26 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 26. Is there anything purer? Oh, the prayer of a dear virgin heart, breathed forth with true love's gentle art. Is there anything purer, on land or on sea, more laden with blessing, for you or for me? It is sweeter than song ever heard, more precious than love's spoken word. It is fraught with a keen recognition of truest soul need and fruition. Is there anything purer, on land or on sea, more laden with comfort, for you or for me? It is ofttimes born in great pain, with no ray of hope's blessed gain, but as lulled by the angels at midnight, ere reaching the infinite daylight. Is there anything surer, on land or on sea, to bring the God-Father to you or to me? End of section 26. Section 27 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 27. Longing. Through all this summer joy and rest, though lying on fair nature's breast, there breathes the longing heart's desire. Would he were here! The thrill of pain kind nature feels, for all the while there o'er me steals, like holy chimes in midnight air. He'll soon be here. And flowers and trees, vales, hills, and birds, make haste to echo her glad words. He'll soon be here. End of section 27. Section 28 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 28. Young Love's Message. Sing too, little bird, what my heart sings today. Dost thou know? I'll speak low. Oh, I do love him so. Hold safe, waving grass, in thy rhythmical flow, what I say, till the day, when as sweet new mown hay thou canst bear it to him in the fragrance loved best. Thou dost fear? O love dear, how I wish thou wert here! But pause, little cloud, thou canst carry it now, I am sure, sweet and pure, though the winds do allure, for thou art on the way to the west where he is. But dost know? Tell him low that I do love him so, oh, I do love him so. End of Section 28. Section 29 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 29. A Diary's Secret. January 1, 1867. God's love was once enough my heart to satisfy, when in the days of childhood's faith I knew not doubt or sigh. But since I saw Roy's face, and knew his love's sweet cheer, and felt the anguish and despair which come from partings here, so hungry have I grown no love can satisfy, and all my childhood's faith in God doth mock me as a lie. But still in these dark hours I hold one anchor fast. Perhaps this is the woman's way to reach God's love at last. January 1, 1887. The deepening years have proved love's conquest justified. The woman's hungry heart at last in God is satisfied. End of Section 29.
Section 30 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Guerdon. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 30. A Monologue. Has love come? Ah, too late! Already death stands o'er me, with hungry eyes that bore me. Oh, cruel fate, that after all life's years of sacrifice and tears, 'tis death, not love, that wins. But stay! This message bear, ere yet death's work begins. In other realms earth's losses will change from saddening crosses to love-crowned joy, where death shall have no mission, but love his sweet fruition without alloy. End of Section 30. Recording by Guerdon, Newport Richey, Florida.
Section 31 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 31. A Priceless Gift. 'Twas much he asked, a virgin heart, unknown to worldly ways. What could he give? Ah, well he knew he lacked sweet virtue's praise. The virgin heart was given to him without a doubting thought, when lo, through seeming sacrifice, a miracle was wrought. A miracle of love and grace, revealing woman's power, for clothed in purity he rose to meet the coming hour. End of Section 31.
Section 32 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Greg Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 32. The Ocean's Moan. Last night the ocean's moan was to my ears the deep sad undertone of vanished years, bearing a burden, a bliss unattained, a strife and a longing, a life sad and pained. To the shores vast and free of eternity's sea. But in that undertone of restless pain came at length a monotone of sweet refrain, bearing a passion long known to the sea, told in moments of silence, a sad heart to free, to be born me some day in the ocean's own way. And this rare monotone of mystery was now that passion moan of secrecy, bearing, I love her, my moaning ne'er cease, till she on my breast findeth love's perfect peace, till she on my breast findeth love's perfect rest. Oh, is there tenderer tone for a mortal ear than such a monotone, distinct and clear, bearing its comfort, its heavenly peace, its help for all sorrow, its heart pain release, to a soul waiting long for love's tender true song. And now the ocean's moan is to my ears the dearest undertone of all the years, bearing a memory, a sweet bliss attained, a gratified longing, a life joys regained, to the shores vast and free of eternity's sea. Boar's Head, Hampton, New Hampshire. End of Section 32. Recording by Greg Giordano, Newport Richey, Florida. Section 33 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Greg Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 33. Love's Flower. Love's sweet and tender flower of pure perennial life blooms ever fresh in power o'er all earth's wrong and strife. Pluck not in haste, young man, this flower of wondrous hue, nor dare to crush, nor fail to scan such beauty ever new. Gaze at it long, young girl, and guard its sacred blush, then shall its treasures old unfurl your yearning soul to hush. End of Section 33. Recording by Greg Giordano, Newport Richey, Florida.
Section 34 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Asaf Kos. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Renunciation. Oh, is not love eternal, when once the heart be won? Oh, is not love infernal, when love can be undone? So sighed the gentle maiden, in light of memory dear, as sad and heavy laden she longed for knowledge clear. But soon the bitter heartache gave way to victory's cheer, for brave she chose for his sake the life which knows no peer. The life of abnegation, which gives the Christ's own peace, but leaves the sad temptation to ask for life's release. End of Renunciation.
Section 35 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 35. Love Discrowned. In 4 scenes. Scene 1. When he comes, my darling, I shall tell him all the secret ecstasy, all the peace and joy, all my heart's sweet fantasy, free from self's alloy, all. O blessed power of love's sweet hour, when I shall tell him all, shall tell him all. Scene 2. Hark, hark, he's come! I hear his step. O joy, love's hour is here. I knew that he was true and pure. I could not feel love's fear. Oh, no, I could not, dear. Scene 3. She gave one look, one piercing look, drew back her anguished soul, then murmured low, O bitter hour! But God forgive the whole, forgive. O bitter power of love's death hour! I thought to tell him all, to tell him all. Scene 4. He gazed upon her lifeless face, he held her lifeless hand. Was this the form he once had loved? He did not understand. Once loved? Yes, that was so. He'd loved since, one or two, and, well, what was a woman for, if not for man to woo? Moral. Alas, for broken hearts and lives of those who can but trust. Alas, for those who see no law but that of selfish must. End of section 35.
Section 36 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 36. A Widow's Heart Cry. Thy will, not mine, be done. So breathe I when the day's begun. So breathe I when the day is done. I whisper it in blinding tears. I pause and listen till appears the welcome voice for listening ears, the voice which checks my wayward will, and makes my longing heart to thrill with love for those who need me still. But oh, how long must I so pray? When will I learn to calmly say, Thy will is mine, both night and day? Ah, this can never be on earth, since he who gladly gave me birth to everything that was of worth has gone from out my sense and sight. To what, O ye who still invite, to heaven's sure realm and faith's own right, reveal some clue for me to see what life is his, what he's to me. Alas, ye can't. Then what can be more precious when the day is done, or when the morning is begun, than not my will, but thine be done. End of section 36. Recording by Greg Giordano. Newport Richey, Florida. Section 37 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Greg Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 37. Together. Transformed, redeemed from all that dwarfs or blights, in perfect harmony with beauteous sights. Beyond imagination's highest flights, ere reached by seer, we shall together walk the golden streets, sometime, my dear. But how, you ask, shall we each other know, so changed from what we were while here below? When caged like birds, we longed and suffered so. Ah, do not fear. Will not the soul, when free, seek like the bird its own, my dear? It may not be at once or soon, 'tis true, for you may be among the blessed few, who'll sooner reach the blissful heights your due for pure life here. But sometime, sure as God is love and truth, we'll meet, my dear. Some precious, long forgotten look or word breathed through the softest, sweetest music heard, or some vibration rare of soul depths stirred by memory's tear, will, like a flash of light, reveal our souls together, dear, to live the fuller life we've dreamed of here. End of Section 37. Recording by Greg Giordano, Newport Richey, Florida.
Section 38 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 38. Shadowed Circles. Why weepest thou, O dear one? Do sorrows press? Beneath the weight of sorrow is love's caress. Why joyest thou, O dear one? Is love thine own? Ah, 'neath love's deep rejoicing is sorrow's moan. Indeed, all earth's great passions, is it not so? Are circled in the shadow of joy or woe. But why should we bemoan this? Could otherwise truth's dazzling light be subject to mortal eyes? Could otherwise we enter the endless light, beyond the shadowed circle of mortal sight? End of Section 38. Section 39 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 39. A Song of Success. Youth. I am dancing along. Just to live is a joy. I'm so happy and free. I know not nor care what will tame or destroy. Life now satisfies me. Oh, there's naught like dear youth to reveal the glad truth that 'tis pure, healthful joy just to know and to be. Middle age. I am marching along, full of work and of plan to alleviate wrong, with a heart full of love both to God and to man, and an arm free and strong. Oh, there's naught like mid-life to make sure, without strife, the beauty of progress through action and song. Old Age. I am living along, sitting down by the way. My work is all done. I have fought the good fight, known the full of each day, and true victory won. Oh, there's naught like old age to declare with the sage, life ending on earth is but heaven begun. End of section 39. Section 40 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 40. The Underworld. Under the restless surface of ocean's vast domain, the God of perfect quiet holds ever peaceful reign. Under the restless surface of passions strong and wild, the still small voice of conscience is heard in accents mild. Under the restless surface of all man's life on earth, the Christ of sacred story renews each day his birth. End of section 40. Section 41 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 41. She Knows. Written at Mountain Cottage on Mount Wachusett, where Louisa M. Alcott spent the last summer of her life. Last summer she believed that in and through these beauteous scenes God's loving self did flow, but now she knows 'tis so. For, having crossed the boundary lines of honest doubt and fear, she sees with spirit eye what sense could not descry. Her firm belief, thus blossomed into perfect flower of sight, becomes a restful cheer to all who linger here. Still asking for the secret of these changing beauteous scenes, and troubled with the why of all earth's sorrowing cry. Her presence here has filled the place with memory of a soul made beautiful through pain, eternity to gain. End of section 41. Section 42 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 42. At Pittsford, Vermont. To J.A.C. As winds the lovely Otter Creek through vales of summer green, ne'er pausing on its way, though love its tribute pay, so gently winds my loving thought through memory's changing scenes, to days of long ago, when thee I first did know. Thy heartfelt sympathy and help were to my fresh young soul what these dear Vermont hills are to the little rills. A presence near, a faithful strength, life-giving and serene. O hills, be now as much to her who feels time's touch. In different paths, through various ways, we've known the world since then. Together now we rest on nature's peaceful breast. End of section 42.
Section 43 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bruce Kachuk. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 43. Childhood's Days. To M.C. If knowledge, gained in later years, may wholly cloud from sight the glimpse which childhood's eye hath caught of heaven's celestial light, then need we not the atmosphere of second childhood's days to catch another broader glimpse of heaven's immortal rays. Ah, yes, we even need to seek through earth's elusive hour immortal childhood's heavenly days of sweet revealing power. For how can otherwise we catch the deeper glimpses yet of life eternal, glorious, pure, where sun hath never set? End of section 43. Section 44 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bruce Kachuk. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 44. An Answer to BPS. Why don't I write a story? Ah, friend, if you could see the depths of hidden heart life, alas, so known to me, you'd find the truest story flashed out in gleams of light before which all pens falter and vanish out of sight. And as they vanish from me, they leave the impress clear that only Heaven's pen could write such stories acted here. So in his book of life, revealed to all some day, you'll find my story, grand and true, worked out in his own way. End of section 44.
Section 45 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Tratza. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Where? What? Whence? The kingdom of heaven is where? Oh, where? Would that the heart which with pity o'erflows, while deigning love's burdens to share, could disclose. The kingdom of heaven is what? Oh, what? Would that the infinite presence which flows through a life on the earth finely cut, might disclose. The kingdom of heaven is whence? Oh, whence? Ah, let the wind and the breath of the rose their secrets of life and of sense dare disclose. Could we then see the better, whence spirit arose? Who knows? Oh, who knows? End of section 45.
Section 46 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bruce Kachuk. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 46. Heroes. The heroes on the battlefield are calm in death, their fighting o'er. They feel no more the fevered breath of battle's war. They hear at last the voice that saith, "Fight on no more." But oh, the heroes on the grander field of peace, who know no rest, whose hearts ne'er feel the full release from mortal quest, nor breathe the air where struggles cease the soul to test. For such we mourn, O purifying soul of life, for such we pray, that nature free them from the strife of falsehood's way, and love through every struggle rife have free, full play. End of section 46. Section 47 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bruce Kachuk. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 47. a Magdalen's Easter cry. In the different mansions of heavenly space, prepared for the faithful and pure, ah me, for the faithful and pure, can I dare hope to find e'en a small resting place, free from sin and all earthly allure? Can such a soul as mine, that has wasted life's wealth on the baubles and gewgaws of time, ah me, on the baubles of time, have a fitting strength left to regain needed health for the life of a heavenly clime, for a life where the laws of the spirit, not sense, bring their perfect eternal reward, ah me, their eternal reward, and the pleasures obtained with such fever intense can find nowhere a vibrating chord? Oh, woe is me this Easter day, no hope riseth up in my soul, ah me, my poor sin-laden soul. I have only the dregs of my pleasure to pay, and such wrong, bitter thoughts of life's whole. But listen! What's that? What's that message I hear, bearing down on my sad troubled heart? Ah me, on my sad troubled heart! Christ is risen indeed, he is risen to cheer, and his strength to the weakest impart. O Christ, can it be that thine own risen strength can give life, added life, to my soul, to my sin-laden, weak, starving soul? Yes, 'tis true, I'll believe and rejoice now at length, to feel Easter's sweet joy o'er me roll. End of section 47. Section 48 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bruce Kachuk. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 48. For the anniversary of Mrs. Browning's death, June 29th, 1861. "'Tis beautiful," she faintly cried, then closed her weary eyes and died. So stands plain fact on history's page, attested to by friend and sage. But in our hearts the fact grows bright, illumined with immortal light, for open eyes saw heaven's shores, and life, not death, revealed its stores. 'Tis beautiful, it must be so, if such a soul midst parting's woe could with truth's perfect clearness see the secret of life's mystery, could know that fullest life of man needs heaven's light to round God's plan. O woman soul without a peer, we thank thee more and more each year, for this sweet proof of beauty's power, beyond earth's transitory hour. It calms our hours of doubt and pain, and beautifies earth's troubled reign, to feel that thou art sending still this same sweet message of God's will, born of fruition's grander sight, of perfect beauty, peace, and light. End of section 48.
Section 49 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jeannie Whitfield from Traditions in Biloxi, Mississippi. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 49, Robert Browning. A peace out of pain, then a light, then thy breast. O thou soul of my soul, I shall clasp thee again, and with God be thy rest. Fulfillment, December 12th, 1889. Oh, the blessed fruition of peace out of pain, of a light without darkness, a clasping again, of a full soul reunion in love's endless reign. Sing, O earth, with new joy at this victory won, for the faith that endured till the setting of sun, for the hope that shone clear through the mighty work done, for the love that sought God, to guide love here begun. Sing, O earth, with new joy for such victory won. End of section 49. Recording by Jeannie Whitfield.
Section 50 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Little T. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. To Neptune in behalf of S.C.G. O Neptune, in thy vast survey of all the ships that sail, walks lovingly the well-known way of one we wait to hail. The Cephalonia is her name, but why need I tell more? Thou knowest indeed the well-earned fame she bears from shore to shore. But since among her company's band is one whose life to me, O Neptune, bear her in thy hand even yet more tenderly. Over gentle waves, 'neath far blue sky, midst winds that only blow to make the time more swiftly fly, for hearts that hunger so. Boston, September 4th, 1886. End of To Neptune in behalf of S.C.G. Recording by Little T. Section 51 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Little T. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. To the pansies growing on the grave of A.S.D. Beautiful pansies, ye must know your sacred mission here, for how could otherwise ye grow so sweet and full of cheer? Your watchful love we can't await, as lingering here in tears, fond memory brings precious weight of friendship's golden years. Ye are the symbols pure and sweet of heart's ease and of life, through which our thought may dare retreat from pain and death so rife, to realms of light and peace above, from earth's ally set free, wherein abide immortal love and deathless ministry. But still, while we your comfort seek, our hearts will widely yearn to hear once more the loved one speak, once more the form discern. At Woodland Cemetery, May 1886. End of To the Pansies Growing on the Grave of A.S.D. Recording by Little T.
Section 52 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Ali Kazerani. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 52. A Broken Heart. 1. Must I always look for sorrow on the morrow? Must I never have the hope that a life of larger scope will before my vision ope? 2. Ah, 'tis true, there is but sorrow on the morrow, for the broken hearts that wait, bearing secretly their fate. Yet the opening of the gate to the blessed heaven's morrow, when the aching, longing heart shall be free from pain and sorrow, comes before my tired eyes with a wondrous sweet surprise. 3. But this joy is not for me, not for me. Alas, for my poor broken heart, with its poisoned arrows dart, without hope, alone, apart. End of section 52.
Section 53 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Bruce Kachuk. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 53. My Release. I hear in the ocean's restless moan my soul's lament. Will it ever cease? I feel in the rumbling earthquake's groan deep anguish spent. Shall I now know peace? I see in the smallest heaven's loan enough for content. But is that release? Oh no, my release is but found in the pure undertone, coming nearer and dearer to me, of a great human love beyond nature at best, eternal, inspiring, and free. Oh, that's my release. Happy me, happy me. End of section 53.
Section 54 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Gemma Blythe. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 54. The God of Music. To E.T.G. Out from the depths of silence the God of music came, to echo heavenly cadence on earth's fair shores of fame. Full-orbed with heavenly glory he met the lords of earth, but 'twas the old story, they blind were to his worth. So back to depths of silence he flew on wings of light, to bide their time of nonsense he sang when out of sight. And as rolled on the ages he ever and anon sent down to earth his pages, the lords to breathe upon. At length he felt vibrations from Germany's fair clime, of sweetest modulations e'er heard in realms of time. So forth he flew in rapture to that dear fatherland, to seize ere earth could capture a spirit pure and grand, to which he could surrender himself with perfect ease, and weave the music tender of heaven's own harmonies. He found the child Beethoven, on him his blessing fell, and in his soul was woven the sounds we know so well. End of section 54. Recording by Gemma Blythe.
Section 55 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 55. To Wilhelm Gericke, on the completion of his conductorship of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, 1884-1889. Great poets can, without the aid of kindred mind, reveal to us the secrets laid on them to find. But music kings need ministries to sound their hidden harmonies. For showing us the inmost heart of these great kings, and making clear with wondrous art their wanderings, we thank thee, while we tender here a bon voyage to home's loved sphere. End of section 55. Section 56 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 56. For ETF 1. after the birth of her son, R.A.F. May 28, 1887. I'd rather hear my baby's coo, that little gurgling coo, than rarest song or symphony born out of music's mystery, which once did woo. I'd rather see my baby's face, that lovely dimpled face, than all the choicest works of art, inspired by loving hand or heart, contained in space. I'd rather feel my baby's eyes, such deep, blue, heavenly eyes, than all the world's delighted gaze, proclaiming with continued praise my power to rise. Oh yes, 'tis true, my baby dear, my precious baby dear, is more than music, art, or fame, or anything that bears the name of pleasure here. For in this joy I find a rest, a soul-inspiring rest, beyond the wealth of fame or art, to satisfy my woman heart, or make it blest. And as I live in this my gift, my heaven-sent blessed gift, thoughts such as Mary pondered o'er, deep in her heart in days of yore, come to uplift, and make the claims of motherhood, dear sacred motherhood, become creation's mountain height, whereon e'er shines the beacon light of womanhood. Chelsea, Mass. 2. After the death of R.A.F. February 5, 1888. Would I could see my baby's face, that lovely dimpled face. O God, how can I bear the pain of never seeing it again, my baby's face? Of never seeing in those eyes, those deep, blue, heavenly eyes, the wondrous glimpses of soul light, which filled my heart with strange delight and sweet surprise. Of never hearing baby's coo, that little gurgling coo. O God, how can I bear the pain of never hearing it again, my baby's coo? Alas, thy will, not mine, be done, not mine, but thine be done. I can but breathe again this prayer, as in the days of past despair, when peace was won. End of section 56. Section 57 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 57. To C.H.F. Upon receiving a twig of green from the grave of Helen Hunt Jackson, October 1888. With reverent touch and grateful heart, dear thoughtful friend, I hold this precious bit of green you kindly send from Cheyenne's holy, lonely grave, where pilgrims tend. It touches springs of tenderest life inspired by her, who, child of poetry and ease, did not demur from sacrificing all to be wrong's arbiter. That rare mosaic it suggests, made by the hand of those who seek this favored spot in chosen land, where oft in life she penned her soul at truth's command. 'Tis true she wished no monument to mark the place, but must she not be satisfied to see the space thus blessed and open to the heart of every race? O brain of power and heart of fire, America's pride! No wonder that the mountain height, above sin's tide, was chosen as the resting place with death to hide. For such could give the needed rest on earth denied, could satisfy the poet's thought, unsatisfied, and symbolize the soul's true rest when glorified. End of section 57.
Section 58 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 58. An Anniversary Poem. And is time marked in heaven? Dost know, O spirit friend? 'Tis just a year ago today thou went so suddenly away, and left me in my loneliness the weary days to spend. Ah, weary days, denied thy praise, and all thy many helpful ways. And is earth known in heaven? Dost see, O clear-eyed soul, the present changing life of man, still working out the wondrous plan of making even broken lives add to the complete whole? Ah, broken lives, that death deprives of help like thine that heavenward strives. And are we known in heaven? Do I, thy once fond care, still have that patient, yearning love, which longed to lift my soul above the sweet, though transitory joys of even earth's best fare? Ah, earth's best fare cannot compare with thy ideal of me laid bare. End of 58. Recording by Shakira Searle. Section 59 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 59. A Comfort. I have sowed in tears. Shall I reap in joy? Shall my human heart be satisfied, and sorrow and pain be justified? Shall full fruition free my soul from limitation's sad control, and all my faculties of mind their perfect rest and freedom find? They that sow in tears shall reap in joy, sang a poet heart in the long ago, midst depths of sorrow, pain, and woe. And what to him was truth and life has shone through all the ages' strife, to be at last our beacon light of comfort in the darkest night. End of 59. Recording by Shakira Searle. Section 60 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 60. An Anniversary. The autumn tints of these loved hills, outlined against the sky, are dearer far to me this year than in the years gone by, for they are colours nature wears to celebrate the time when her pet child changed life on earth for that of heavenly clime. She thus rejoices, while our hearts wear not their flowers of joy. Alas! could she but give us back our gifted artist boy! But then she sees that it was best that he, like her, should know death and the resurrection too, the fullest life to show. End of 60. Recording by Shakira Searle.
Section 61 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 61. A Thank Offering to Miss Elizabeth P. Peabody. Thou priestess of pure childhood's heart, wherein God's Spirit lies, thou willing priestess of the art of true self-sacrifice, ere thy rare spirit takes its flight to realms beyond our praise, where childhood's pure, eternal light shines through the blessed days. We thank thee for thy legacy of thought, wrought out in deed, by which love's sweet supremacy becomes man's potent need. Our nation must thy secret share, ere it can fully rise to heights of truth and insight where true wisdom's glory lies. End of section 61. Recording by Jeannie Whitfield from Traditions in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Section 62 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jordan Herron. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. At Life's Setting. Put your arms around me. There, like that. I want a little petting at life's setting, for 'tis harder to be brave when feeble age comes creeping and finds me weeping. Dear one's gone, or brings before my tired eyes sweet visions of my youth's fair prize. There is a pain in sacrifice, denied me then and ever. Left me alone? No, never, for in God's love I nestled, while with deep thought I wrestled, till all my busy life at length was spent in giving others strength, in making others' homes more bright, in making others' burdens light. But now, alone and weary, I am hungry for a human love's sweet petting at life's setting. Keep your arms around me, kiss my fevered brow, whisper that you love me. I can bear it now. Oh, how this does rest me now my work is done. I've all my life loved others, now I want love, dear one. Just a little petting at life's setting, for I'm old, alone and tired, and my long life's work is done. End of At Life's Setting. Recording by Jordan Herron.
Section 63 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Grandma Waiting. Still waiting, dear good Grandma, for the blessed angel Death? Yes, waiting, only waiting to be borne across the sea to the home my soul's been building all these years of mystery. Through 90 years and over now of deep and wondrous change, wherein I've known the heights and depths of human feeling's range, and tried to solve the problems old of human life so strange. You want to know my history, because I am so good? Ah, child, no human life can here be fully understood. You call me good, and what is more, a true and blessed saint. There is illusion sweet indeed in what you child souls paint, before you know too much of life and feel its evil taint. You even picture beauties of my home across the sea, which I never dared to hope for, e'en on heights of ecstasy. You see me sitting helpless here, blind now for many years, apparently so full of peace, so free from doubts and fears. Though never free from memory's thought, which often brings the tears, you wonder where's the passion and the energy of youth, the power that even dared to sway to evil ways forsooth. Ah, but you see the blessed fruit of what God planted sure, when in my years of sorrow He was whispering, "Endure." You cannot see the dreadful scars which naught on earth can cure. You cannot see the passion wild, when, 'neath the coffin lid, among the flowers, my children three, my precious all, were hid. Nor can you see my conflict sore, when I went almost mad, before the dying form of him who had loved me from a lad. A loving husband, kind and true, as ever woman had. But still, before my dear one died, more children came to me, 2 lovely boys, who seemed at last a recompense to be. For sometimes it does seem as if God sends a special gift, to be a special help and strength, the selfish clouds to lift. Or, what perhaps we need as much, the wheat from chaff to sift. Through all my lonely widowed life I lived in their sweet ways, and found no sacrifice too great in work for future days. At length they were my crowning joy. I'd come again to know the blessings of a married life, the happiest here below. When lo! Death seized the oldest one, my boy that I loved so. This opened fresh the old deep wounds, but still I had much left, for then I was not, as before, of every child bereft. So I went on in daily life, determined to be true to blessings that were left to me. That does one's life renew. Remember this, my dear one, when your grandma's gone from you. The years went on. I felt I'd had my share of sorrow's pain, so I banished every lingering thought that death would come again. But when we are the Shores, child, 'tis then he seems to be more vigilant than ever to proclaim his mystery, as if he envied us an hour of joy's sweet company. My husband first was stricken down, then came the added blow. 2 grown-up sons, all settled with as fine a business show as ever came to mortals, were cut down in prime of life, having just begun to free me from the circumstances rife, which boded of the bitterness of poverty's dread strife. My soul was then so mystified, so dazed before God's will, that I could only find my voice in his calm words, "Be still." Oh, could I not been spared this stroke, known one less bitter pain, and been as good for duties here, as fit for heaven's reign? Was this the way, the only way, eternal life to gain? It cannot be much longer. I shall soon have crossed the sea, to the home my soul's been building all these years in mystery. I've had my share of sorrow, but I've done the best I could. God knows I've tried through all to grow more patient, wise, and good, to get at least this out of life, as every mortal could. But, though I've had his comfort, and still hear his sweet "Endure," I feel the bitter heartache which no time or sense can cure. My friends have all been laid away, my work long since was o'er, and now I'm only waiting for death's landing on the shore. I hope 'twill be at sunset when he knocks at my soul's door, for somehow it much easier seems to go the unknown way, attended by the beauty of the sun's last glorious ray. But as I calmly wait and think, it does seem rather queer that what you, blessed angel, call, has seemed my chief curse here. Alas, how much we suffer before God's ways appear. End of Grandma Waiting. Recording by Trotza, Uruguay, South America.
Section 64 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 64. Does it pay? Does it pay, all this burden and worry, all the learning acquired with pain, all the planning and nervous wild action, the restlessness following gain? Does it pay? To be free from this burden and worry, to have knowledge without fear and pain, to be peaceful, far-seeing, sweet-tempered, and calm in the presence of gain. We must know the pure secret of nature, like her be obedient to law, and work in the light of the promise of blessed results Christ foresaw. Then each day and alway life will pay. End of section 64. Section 65 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 65. Auxilium ab alto. The poet young ere finds a tongue to tell the joys of love, the poet bold e'en dares behold the mystery above. The poet brave ere loves to rave of wars and victories gained, The poet sweet e'en dares repeat the angel songs unfeigned. And to each one we say, well done, go on, and do thy best, though still we feel each doth but seal a part of life's bequest. But yet we cry, O goddess high, must thou thy wealth so share? America fain would have the reign of one thy gift to bear. She needs such one to help her shun the dangerous shoals of thought, which in this age of clown and sage her progress gained hath wrought. She needs such one to help her shun the deeper shoals of wrong, which in these days of doubt's fond lays tempt e'en her favoured strong. O send each one to say, well done, and tell in truth God's plan, while he declares as well as shares the fullest life of man. End of section 65.
Section 66 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 66. Limitations. Would that my acts could equal the noble acts I've told. Would that I could but master myself as visions bold. So cried a famous artist in agony of soul, as waves of great temptation before him high did roll. Oh, would that I could body the thoughts that govern me. Oh, would that I could picture the visions I foresee. So cried a saintly woman in ecstasy of pain, as waves of sad depression rolled on her soul to gain. End of section 66. Limitations.
Section 67 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. The Muse of History. Clio with her flickering light and book of valued lore comes down the ages dark and bright our interest to implore. She walks with glad majestic mien, proud of her knowledge gained, though mourning oft at having seen man's life so dulled and pained. Her face with lines of care is wrought from searching mystery's cause, and dealing with the hidden thought of nature's subtle laws. Yet still she blushes with new life at sight of actions fine, and pales with anguish at the strife of evil's dread design. She stops to sing her grandest lays when in creation's heat she sees evolved a higher phase of life's fruition sweet. 'Twas thus in days of Genesis when man came forth supreme. 'Twas thus in days of Nemesis when love did dare redeem. And thus 'twill be in future days when out from spirit laws shall be brought forth for lasting praise the ever great first cause. Oh, gladly know this wondrous Muse who walks the aisles of time, and not so thoughtlessly refuse her book of lore sublime. For in it is the precious force of spirit life divine, which even though a winding course leads in to wisdom's shrine. End of The Muse of History. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Section 68 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. An impromptu written for GHT on the death of WST, March 1889. As brothers here we've shared the smiles, the tears of boyhood's hour, and felt the sweet companionship of manhood's love and power. But now the tie is snapped, he's fled beyond the mortal sight. The grave with all its mystery asserts death's power to blight. Alas, death seems the cruel thing in this bright world of ours. The bravest soul shrinks from its hold, though loving faith empowers. But hark, is not his voice I hear, with comfort as of yore? Dear brother, death is but more life, the grave is heaven's door. End of an impromptu. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Section 69 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. To Mrs. Partington, July 12, 1886. Another birthday here. It hardly seems a year since I these words did hear, when 60 years and one did crown thee. Not till I am an octagon, or worse still, a centurion, shall I be old, with factories gone, all idiomatic and forlorn. But thou art still a membrane, dear, of what we call society's cheer, ordained beforehand in advance, 'twas foreordained that does enhance, to hurl not epitaphs which sting, but a new Eris dawn to bring, of fluid thoughts which counteract the bigamies of fate and fact. Alas, thy crutch of many years still hints romantic pains and fears. A widow Cruise's oil jug, say, to keep plumbago still at bay. Its helpful mission has a share in lines of pleasant places rare. And by the way, not crutch alone finds in that book its value shown. There in the depths of friendship's mines are seen thy tenderest, purest lines, impromptus born at love's command, to deck occasion's wise demand. One finds no Sarah's desert there, no reprehensible despair, but teeming thoughts on mounds and press, poured out in pure unselfishness. This brings to mind thy knitting work, wherein that plaguy Ike does lurk, and other books with humour rife, done in the priming of thy life. Contusion of ideas? Oh no! What angular Saxon would say so? Congestive thoughts then so inane, they decompose the soundest brain. Yes, there it is, thy humour still, not 70 years and 2 can kill. 'Tis free from all harmonious law, a wholesome, not a ringtail store. End of To Mrs. Partington. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Section 70 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Lines for the 70th birthday anniversary of Walt Whitman. Splendor of ended day floating and filling me comes to my mind as I think of the hour when our poet and friend will be lovingly drinking the mystical cup of the 70 years' power. Were I the man of war bird he has pictured, nothing could keep me from flying that way. But, though absent in body, there's nothing can hinder my tasting the joys of that festive birthday. For on the swift wings of the ending day's splendor, my soul will glide in to drink deep the cup's wealth. Who knows but the poet's keen sense of pure friendship will feel midst the joy what I drink to his health. Splendor of ended day, be but the door opening the endless way, life evermore. End of lines for the 70th birthday anniversary of Walt Whitman. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Section 71 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. The Known God. Suggested by Arlo Bates' sonnet, The Unknown God, published in the Boston Courier of August 21, 1887. If Paul in Athens' street left nothing more than what he found when deep in sacred thought he stood and marveled o'er what had been wrought, to the unknown God of heathen lore, then were he only one on thought's wide shore, to lose his name in others, but heaven taught, undaunted, and in words experienced fraught, declared he God as known forevermore. Paul's words, made deep and strong by martyred life, are more than vision deified. They are love's balm to permeate true mental strife, and bring to sin-sick weary souls a star of hope born of temptation's struggles rife. To the known God, through Paul we dare thus far. End of The Known God. Recording by Zishan Reshamwala.
Section 72 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 72. To Phillips Brooks. O type of manhood strong, serene, and chaste, attuned to law of man as well as God, we hail thee as a guide who, having trod with Christ the Spirit fields, in eager haste make glad return to give us blessed taste of fruit there found. Through thee our feet are shod with gospel peace, while thy imperial rod becomes our need in times of drought or waste. How can we thank thee for thy helpful cheer, O Master Spirit of the priests of earth? By daily doing penance without fear, or resting satisfied in deeds of worth? Oh no, 'tis when we breathe love's atmosphere, and live like thee the life of heavenly birth. End of section 72. Recording by Jeannie Whitfield from Traditions in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Section 73 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, Please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Greg Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 73. At the Porter Manse. Author's Note. That part of the Porter Manse containing the room referred to was built early in the last half of the 17th century. It was the house which Wenham, the first distinct township set off, in 1639, from Salem, gave to the second pastor of its church, Reverend Antipas Newman, who married, while living there, Governor Winthrop's daughter. It was bought by John Porter in 1703, and has remained in his family name without alienation to this day. Before a smouldering fire at twilight hour, I muse alone. The ancient room, low beamed, holds for my ear thoughts voiced by forms that teemed 200 years ago with life and power. I breathe the essence of sweet joys that flower in light of home, while life that only seemed on history's page becomes the real, redeemed from all the chaff that time fails not to shower. Ah, such old places, holding through the years continuous life of man's activity, reveal a wealth beyond that which appears in modern homes built e'er so lovingly, imbued so long with human hopes and fears. Have they not claim to personality? End of Section 73. Recording by Greg Giordano, Newport Richey, Florida. Section 74 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Greg Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 74. Our Lady of the Manse. Of all those born into the name to share the charming freedom of the Porter Manse, none were more worthy of inheritance than she who now presides as lady there. Her gracious calm makes hospitality wear a beauteous crown of peace, kind tolerance, and wide embracing sympathy enhance her power to please and lighten daily care. 'Tis only such rare souls who pierce the truth of home life secrets, and through tact and grace make growing years reflect the joys of youth. They lose not hope, though sorrow leave a trace in all their joy. Such cannot fail, forsooth, of making home a loved abiding place. End of Section 74. Recording by Greg Giordano, Newport Richey, Florida. Section 75 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Greg Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 75. To B. P. Shalaber, July 12, 1888. When lingering day at last recedes from sight, and night comes slowly forth to fill her place, preceded by a twilight hour's loved face, reflecting glorious rays of sunset light, 'tis then my thoughts go wandering with delight through oft-frequented avenues of space, to those dear souls, the dearest of the race, who've dwelt with me on friendship's purest height. From this old mountain top I come to you, my large-souled trusted friend of many a year, with birthday greetings of the roseate hue, left by a perfect day just lingering here. Oh, may life's twilight hold a peace as true, and be as filled with hope of dawn's sweet cheer. Mount Wachusett, Massachusetts. End of Section 75. Recording by Greg Giordano, Newport Richey, Florida.
Section 76 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 76. To Our Mary. Sweet sister, thoughtful ever of our need, forgetting self, if only we be served, how oft thy loving sympathy has nerved our fainting hearts to kinder, nobler deed, or brought to being thoughts that intercede for others' progress. We, all undeserved, cannot forget that life, to ends thus curved, made time for us to plant our own pet seed. The world owes much to many a sister dear, who, banishing with tears in midnight hour a fond desire for larger, happier sphere, strives faithfully in lowly life to shower rich daily blessings. Such may know e'en here a Christ-like joy unknown to worldly power. End of Section 76.
Section 77 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 77. A Birthday Remembrance. Dedicated to FDL, September 26. Time brings to thee from out his storehouse old another year, which graciously awaits thy fair soul's bidding, as it estimates the wealth the parting year has left untold. Clothed in chameleon garments which unfold the fresh new days thine eye ne'er underrates, it brings continued hope of life that dates man's finest being, thou its secrets hold. Are not such birthdays restful stepping stones, to aid the growing soul pick out the way to life eternal? Not earth's bitterest moans or wildest joys can man's true progress stay, if, in these pauses, he but hear the tones of immortality's soothing, deathless lay. End of 77. Recording by Shakira Searle.
Section 78 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 78. Josef Hofmann. After hearing him play at Boston Music Hall in 1888. O marvelous child! A temple where in ease expected genius dwells, while lingering here on earth to fit us for the heavenly sphere. Dost feel awestruck to know thou hast the keys to new and wondrous unheard harmonies? O favored boy, marked out to be the peer of those who in all ages God's voice hear, hushed are our souls before what thy soul sees. Guard tenderly, O earth, O sky, O fates, this precious earthly temple of art shrine.
May chilling poverty, or sin that dates soul loss, ne'er hinder genius' wise design to have full sway, as she anticipates, in working out in time her laws divine. End of section 78.
Section 79 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 79. After the Denial. John 21, verses 15 to 18. When fast was broken on Tiberias' shore, the risen Lord, still anxious that his own should know love's secret, as to him 'twas known, thrice asked of Peter, "Lovest thou me more than these?" The third time Peter's heart was sore. Must even love divine have doubt's sad tone? "Thou knowest, Lord, I love thee," was his moan. Then, "Feed my sheep," Christ answered as before. Still in these days the risen Lord bends o'er the shores of time and longs for human love, the love that hears his voice, awake, asleep, and makes response as Peter did of yore. "Lovest thou me, O Christ, from heights above? Thou knowest that we love thee. Feed my sheep." End of section 79.
Section 80 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Trotza. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Gethsemane. Matthew 26:36-46. Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? O heart of Christ, still longing in the bitterest hour for human sympathy and love to shower, a needed strength beyond words to impart, humanity is richer for this art of seeing in poor finite man a power before which even ministering angels cower. To know all truth, e'en dread Gethsemane's smart. Alas! the power to know will bring the pain, but through the pain of wisdom's true insight is Christ's own perfect sympathy made plain. Possessed of this, we see in tenderest light his sorrowing heart and failing to obtain the longed for love in hour of darkest night. End of Gethsemane.
Section number 81 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. On Lake Memphremagog. By Old Owl's Head, on Memphremagog's side, in a hammock nook midst scenery wild and bold, the spirit of the waters, as of old, broods o'er my soul, its secrets to confide. It whispers of the anguish, joy, and pride the heart of man has on its bosom told, and hails as conqueror him who once did hold its heart in peace when tempest tossed and tried. Loved spirit of the waters, we too hail the power of him who walked the holy sea of Galilee. Capacity to fail were harder to believe than victory. May he who conquered wildest nature's heart his infinite power and rest to us impart. End of On Lake Memphremagog.
Section number 82 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Tratza. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Luke 23:24. From holy depths he to the Father prayed, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." His heart, pierced then with anguish through and through, cried out, "'Tis finished!" as he death obeyed. In bitterest wrong this marvellous soul was weighed, with tenderest love and longing toward those who, through ignorance of what they might be, too, were now the slaves of evil passion's raid. They know not what they do. O blessed sight! Into the heart of sin's great mystery, forgiveness here is shown in sweetest light, clothed in her garment of sincerity. Blessed are those souls who reach this precious height. They know the secret of Christ's victory. End of section 82.
Section 83 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. To the members of my home club. While dwelling in sweet wisdom's fruitful ways, in company with poets grand and good, who met our human nature's every mood, what life was ours beyond our words to praise! In seeking for the secret of the lays which clothed in art pure nature's daily food, or brought to light a Christian brotherhood, did we not garner thoughts for future days? 'Tis one of wisdom's joys, while lingering here to plant her seeds of righteousness and peace, to give a sweet companionship and cheer to those who seek from her their soul's increase. This, friends, we have felt in our club atmosphere. May its sweet memory linger till life cease. Chelsea, Massachusetts, 1888. End of section 83. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai.
Section 84 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by AUDIOBooks. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. A Mama's Lullaby. Dream of loveliest beauty in the dying hour of sleep. Harry the baby boy. Lullaby, lullaby, lullaby. Catch the sweetest glimpses of the heavenly bliss, while the holy angels bless thee with a kiss. Lullaby, lullaby. So shall Mama feel a breath of celestial power, to beautify the ministry of baby's waking hour. Lullaby, lullaby, lullaby. Harold, baby boy, lullaby, lullaby. End of section 84.
Section 85 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Warren's Song. How I love you, baby dear, Sister Rosamond. I must kiss you, I must hug you, I must be a little bow, to protect you, or to rescue from the falls of friend or foe. I must grow more wise and graceful every way, that I may be true and helpful for the day when, as a lovely fair young woman, you will need my stay. Darling Rosebud, how I love you! How I love you, sister dear! Oh, I will be good and pure, striving always to endure what will make me honest, kind, generous, manly, strong in mind, worthy of my rosebud. Darling rosebud, sweetest rosebud, how I love you, sister dear. End of section 85. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai. Section 86 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Baby Mildred. Darling baby Mildred, playing on the floor, I see. Creeping here and creeping there, into mischief everywhere. Mamma's little pet and care, I see. Fearless baby Mildred, on her rocking horse, I see. Never slipping from her place, joyous laughter keeping pace with a motion full of grace, I see. Thoughtful baby Mildred, Papa's pet and pride, I know, lighting up the passing days with such happy, winsome ways, joy of household life that pays, I know. Tired baby Mildred, lovely eyes all closed, sleep on. Waking, heaven will be more near for the angel's presence here, whispering secrets in her ear. Sleep on, sleep on. End of section 86. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai. Section 87 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Rosamond and Mildred. Rosamond and Mildred playing on the floor, I see. Laughing blue eyes, dimpled face, laughing brown eyes, ways of grace, chubby hands that interlace, I see. Rosamond and Mildred trying hard to walk, I see. Clinging now to Mamma's dress, trembling in new happiness, then at last a sweet success, I see. Rosamond and Mildred, born the same glad year, I know. Cousins, each in her own way, growing wiser every day, full of promise as of play, I know. Rosamond and Mildred, parting to go home. Goodbye, each a little picture fair, carrying blessing everywhere. Grateful are we for our share. Goodbye, goodbye. End of section 87. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai.
Section 88 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 88. Chilla. Chinchilla! Come, Chilla! Ah, here she comes bounding, so quickly responding. Oh, who could but love her? Her fur like chinchilla, her movements all grace, such a wise little face. What kitty is like her? Oh, who could but love her? Ah, dear pretty Chilla. End of 88. Recording by Shakira Searle.
Section 89 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Childish Fancies. A Fact. My little nephew, 4 years old, a sweet-faced, blue-eyed boy, was one day playing by my side with this and that pet toy, when all at once he said to me, as, laying down my book, I paused awhile to watch with joy his bright, expressive look, "If Mac and I should plant today some paper in the ground, say, would it grow to be a book like yours, with leaves all bound?" These were the same 2 little boys whose nurse searched far and wide for little sister's rubber shoes. "Where can they be?" she cried. "I know," replied Mac, eagerly. "We planted them last night, to see if they would bigger grow, to fit our feet all right." Dear little boys! These fancies hint of future questions deep, when evolution's grand idea shall o'er their vision sweep. God grant that when these come to them, as at truth's shrine they bow, a childlike faith and earnestness may fill them then as now. End of section 89. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai.
Section 90 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynn Thompson. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 90. What Little Bertram Did. A Fact. Our little Bertram, 6 years old, sat on his grandpa's knee, enjoying to the full the love that grandpa gave so free, when looking up bewitchingly, he said, the little tease, "Will grandpa give me just 1 cent to buy some candy, please?" Who could resist such loveliness? This grandpa could not, sure. So with a kiss he gave the cent. Ah, how such things allure! No sooner was the cent in hand, than off the fair boy ran, to buy his candy, lasses kind, or little candy man. Now on his way, in scanning well a window full of toys, he spied a ring, with big red stone, o'erlooked by other boys. All thought of candy was forgot, he'd buy that ring so fine, for his new sister, Rosamond. Oh, how his eyes did shine! How could he stop to calculate the size of such a thing? His only care was for the price. Would 1 cent buy the ring? Ah, yes, it would. The ring was bought, and never girl or boy went tripping homeward through the streets with greater wealth or joy. End of section 90. What Little Bertram Did.
Section 91 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Dear Little Mac. A Fact. When nearly 8 years old, dear little Mac was called from out his happy home life here to that blessed sphere beyond earth's dearest power to call him back. "His questions wise will now sure answer find," said one who'd loved to watch his eager face in happy chase of many a thought which flitted through his mind. "Yes, he knows more than we," another said. "Instead of guiding him, he'll be our guide, to where abide the things we need most to be comforted." While thus the older ones their comfort sought, two of the children paused in midst of play to have their say concerning this great mystery death had brought. "Dear little Mac," said Miriam with a sigh, "he's gone way up to heaven where angels are, way up so far that we can't ever see him till we die." "He's not up there," said Bertram. "He can't be. I saw them put him in the cold dark ground, and I went round and threw some flowers in for him to see." "He isn't there," replied the 4-year-old. "He's up in heaven. My mamma told me so. He is, I know. He isn't in the ground all dark and cold." A moment Bertram sat absorbed in thought, while Miriam felt the joy of victory. Then suddenly the lovely 6-year-old this idea caught. "I tell you what, Mac's body's in the ground, his head, his feet, and every other part, but just his heart, and that's gone up to heaven and angels found." The child thus solved the thought that troubled so, and as I overheard this earnest talk, which might some shock, I wondered if we could more wisdom show. As each seemed satisfied, their play went on, but Bertram's thought sank deep in sister's mind, and left behind the wonder how dear Mac to heaven had gone. At last, when ready for their sweet good night, she softly said, "It can't be very dark, not very dark, for Mac, I know, 'cause God will make it light." Oh, lovely faith of childhood's trusting days, sent fresh from heaven to be our loving guide, when sadly tried by doubt or sorrow's strange, mysterious ways. End of section 91. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai. Section 92 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Willard and Florence on Mount Wachusett, July 1888. Happy little girl and boy, dancing hand in hand over hill and valley land, filled with summer joy, climbing up the steep path side to Wachusett's top, with that graceful skip and hop, born where fairies hide, seeing Holyoke from the height, old Monadnock clear, while Washicum twin lakes near sparkle in sunlight, tripping down the mountain road back to cottage home, only pausing there to roam where laurel finds abode, jumping on the new mown hay, sitting under trees, feeling every mountain breeze, hearing birds' sweet lay, lying on the mossy stone by the brook's cascade, listening 'neath the sylvan shade to its rippling tone. Down at pretty Echo Lake, plucking maiden hair, gathering glistening sundew there for dear mamma's sake, picking in the pastures near berries red and blue, spying where the mayflowers grew earlier in the year, watching for the sun to rise, following sunset cloud, singing low and singing loud while the swift day flies, waiting for the tally-ho with its looked-for mails, hearing strangers tell their tales as they come and go. Happy little girl and boy, dancing hand in hand over hill and valley land, filled with summer joy. End of section 92. Recording by Anusha Iyer, Mumbai.
Section 93 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Anne. A Little Brazilian. Was in Brazil last Christmas Day while at a family feast. A little girl of 5 years old the merriment increased, by crying out as glasses held the eyes she ne'er had seen, "Oh, see what pretty little stones, what for, where have they been?" "Here, give her one," the host exclaimed, pleased with her childish glee. "'Twill show her as no words could show what ice is and must be." She grasped the white stone in her hand, all watching eagerly, when suddenly she let it fall, and cried, "It's burning me." But anxious still to see it more, she asked a servant near to hand it in a napkin wrapped, then there would be no fear. Again the ice was in her hand, her plaything for the day, when all at once she cried aloud, "The stone is running away!" A glass of water now was used, sure that would keep it hers, but no, with all her loving watch the same result occurs. The plaything gone at evening hour, she sat on uncle's knee. "Who makes those white stones, you or God?" she asked inquiringly. "In Miss Brown's land, a Boston friend, God makes them," answered he, "but in Brazil a factory man makes them for you and me." A moment's pause, then said the child, Heaven's blessing on her fall, "Why doesn't God get from Brazil a man to make them all?" End of 93.
Section 94 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Giordano. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. Section 94. The Little Doubter. Mamma, where is the sun to-day, while all this rain comes down? Ah, little girl of flaxen curl, who has not asked before this question o'er and o'er? Behind the clouds so thick and black, the sun is shining still. The mother quickly answered back, her child with faith to fill. The child looked up in strange surprise, in doubt almost a pain, then turned again her wistful eyes to watch the pouring rain. "I don't believe 'tis shining still," she muttered to herself. Ah, little girl of flaxen curl, why doubt e'en mother's word, because of feelings stirred? "I won't believe it till I see the sun behind that cloud," she still went on defiantly to say in accents loud. Now while she gazed as if to see the truth made known by sight, behold the cloud did suddenly become imbued with light. "There, there, mamma, the sun, the sun!" the little doubter cried, and full of joy at victory won, she danced with childish pride. The mother watched with tearful eyes her child's transparent joy, but dared not quench the glad surprise, or victory's power destroy. "Perhaps she'll need this proof," she sighed, "of hidden things made plain, when in the depths of life she's tried, and all fond hopes are slain." While thus she mused, as mothers will, the little daughter fair rushed to her arms all smiling still, and said, while nestling there, "Behind the clouds the sun does shine, e'en while the rain comes down. Ah, little girl of flaxen curl, this wisdom is indeed for future hours of need." End of section 94. Recording by Greg Giordano. Newport Richey, Florida.
Section 95 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Shakira Searle. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. 95. Our Kitty's Trick. I know that all the boys and girls would be so glad to see our Kitty do the little trick she often does for me. When asked, "Oh, Kitty, where's the ball?" she to my shoulder leaps, and looks directly to the shelf where from a box it peeps. She will not cease to look and beg until I find the place where she can take between her teeth the ball with easy grace. Then quickly to the floor she jumps. When dropping first the ball, she runs behind the open door that leads into the hall. She waits, with only head in sight, the ball to see me throw. Then after it she scampers well, some 40 feet or so. She never fails to bring it back, then lifts with wondrous grace her velvet paw to take the ball from out its hiding place. This done, she nestles by my side and purrs while I caress, unconscious of the trick she's done since 3 months old or less. She thus will lie in calm repose so long as I am still. But if I move to touch the ball, then all her nerves will thrill. Her eyes will shine, she'll quickly find her place behind the door, and wait again to see the ball roll on the long hall floor. Ah, Kitty dear, who told you how to join thought, act, and sight? Must not we think that in you dwells the germ of mental light, the germ that makes you kin to us in kind though not degree, but which was quickened by his touch for our supremacy? End of 95. Recording by Shakira Searle.
Section 96 of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by AUDIOBOOK. Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould. A message. A mountain hides within itself this message grand and true, which at my bidding came today for me to give to you. Drink deep of nature's sweetest life, while learning how to wait. Stand strong against the tempest's strife, not questioning the fate. Then shalt thou live above the din of petty things below, absorbing depths of life within, the future to o'erflow. End of Stray Pebbles from the Shores of Thought by Elizabeth Porter Gould.